folks. So my name is Anna Ainsworth. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm currently serving as the president of OPSU Local 560, representing professors, counselors, and librarians at Seneca College.
I'm Jonathan Singer. I'm the vice president of OPSU Local 560. My pronouns are he and him. I've been on two bargaining teams in the past, representing the 24 college locals for OPSU, and I'm not on the current bargaining team.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kelly Reimer. My pronouns are he, him, and I am currently the acting chief steward for our local. It's nice to see you virtually.
So we're recording this little short video because we wanted to take a moment to talk to you about why it is that we are pushing so very hard for a strike mandate vote. As you all know, hopefully all of you know by now, October 15th to 17th, we will get a pin from the Ministry of Labor at our Seneca email accounts. We will follow the link in that email. We will use that pin to log in with it's a private pin. No one else has access. It's only individualized to you. And we will be faced with a choice. The language of the choice will be something to the effect of, I authorize the bargaining team to call us out on strike if necessary, agree or disagree, or perhaps in favor or not in favor. It'll be something like that. And so you'll be faced with a choice, yes or no, in effect. We're here to tell you why you need to vote yes. So Kelly, do you want to start?
Absolutely. If you're like me, you do not want to go on a strike. I think it's fair to say that nobody wants to go on a strike. And the best way to absolutely avoid going on a strike, ironically, is voting to go on a strike. How does that work? Well, if you give a strong strike mandate vote, that's the term we're going to be using to refer to this, it tells the colleges that the faculty are standing behind their bargaining team. When they see that strong strike mandate vote in support of the bargaining team, the colleges know that they have to actually negotiate at the table because they got the power of the faculty behind the bargaining team and they can back it up.
It's a vote of confidence, in effect, in our bargaining team. And when we get a strong strike mandate vote, Jonathan, do you want to talk about what happens at the team at the team and the bargaining table when we get a really strong one?
Well, that's exactly the point. There's a saying in bargaining that without a strike vote, your demands are simply requests of management. And let's think about how demands came about for a moment. At each of the 24 college academic locals, members, faculty, voted to elect delegates representing each college's union members, and then those delegates voted to elect a bargaining team. And at each college, you had meetings to choose and vote on demands, what you needed to see in this next collective agreement. And then those delegates that you elected also got together to vote on a finalized book of demands that covered the demands from all 24 locals. So those are the demands. But as I said, without a strike vote, it's very easy for management to say no, because there's no harm, there's no negative consequence to saying no until there's at least the possibility, the viability of going on strike, of withholding our labor in order to compel negotiations to be wrapped up quickly and with a fair resolution and a fair collective agreement. So that's effectively the point, that when you're at a bargaining table without a strike vote, which is what our bargaining team has been doing since July, there's very little leverage. And I think we're seeing a lack of success and a lack of progress between the two parties at the bargaining table, and a relative disinclination of management to engage with some of the really, really important issues relating to workload, to staffing, to job security, to partial load job security, to academic freedom and shared decision-making at the academic level. We haven't seen any, in my opinion, genuine, sincere engagement with the demands that come from ultimately the 16,000 members of the 24 Cat A locals, the faculty at our 24 colleges. And they need to engage. And there's only one way really to compel that engagement, and that is with a strong strike vote. With a weak strike vote, management knows or can have confidence that if we go on strike, that strike may be short-lived. Maybe some people will choose not to. Maybe there's the chance of holding classes during a strike. Maybe people will get upset and turn on their bargaining team. That's how management might approach a weak strike vote. It's paradoxically, it leads to longer strikes. A strong strike vote effectively means that there's absolutely no need to go on strike. The outcome is effectively a foregone conclusion. Faculty are standing behind their bargaining team, and they're standing behind their own demands that they made at demand set meetings. So a strong strike vote, paradoxically, as Kelly said, is the best way of avoiding a strike. We have seen recently in the United States and in Canada, different industries and workplaces that have had extremely strong strike votes, and we do not see that they are followed by prolonged strikes. They're followed by resolutions, agreements at the table, sometimes motivated by extremely short and brief and effective strikes. Sometimes that's just not necessary at all.
I want to spend a bit more time talking about what happens if we get a weak strike vote. Because if we get a strong strike vote, that means we give our team power at the table to negotiate on behalf of us, on behalf of the demands that we sent them to the table with. It means we have a good chance of coming out of this round of negotiations with some significant gains. But if we get a weak strike vote, we run quite significant risks to what we already have, the rights that already exist for us. This current round of bargaining, the College Employer Council that represents the 24 college presidents and administrations has tabled more than 30 concessions. Concessions are clawbacks of existing rights that we have in our current existing collective agreement. They're removing things that we have bargained for and won in the past. So we are facing in this round, not only a concessionary round, but if we get a weak vote, we might also face terms and conditions, the imposition of terms and conditions. So I'm going to pass it over to Jonathan again to talk about what that could mean and what it could look like if terms and conditions were imposed by the employer.
Well, that's I'm going to sort of oversimplify this a little bit, and forgive me, but our collective agreement, and I was on that last bargaining team that negotiated it, it expired, and it expired on September 30th of this year. And so we're now currently without a collective agreement, without a mutually agreed set of terms and conditions by which we work. And that includes pay. We don't actually have collective agreement between the union and the colleges about how much we get paid, about our workloads, about our grievance process, if there are violations of a collective agreement, because that collective agreement is right now effectively expired. Now, although it's expired, we're not living in chaos. There's the presumption that its terms and conditions carry on. But when there's no collective agreement, management does have the right to unilaterally alter the terms and conditions of our employment with sufficient notice. So that it means that effectively, until we get a strike vote and until we're able to exert some leverage and provide a compelling reason to management not to change our terms and conditions, which they have done in the past, it was 2009, I believe, then we're in a weakened position as a union, and this can affect any aspect of our work, conceivably any aspect of our work that's covered by the collective agreement, which is practically everything. So that's one reason why it's important to have leverage, a tool that we can use that's given by the members to the bargaining team that it's also a message to the management. Bargain, we've established our demands, we're not moving backwards, we're moving forwards. And the bargaining team has the will and the force of 16,000 members behind them in our effort to make necessary improvements to our collective agreement, improvements that will reflect the face of teaching in this new world of teaching, which includes things like artificial intelligence and hybrid classes. And ensuring salary increases in our new world of inflation and ensuring the job security that we as full-time and partial ed professors need.
Kelly, did you want to add anything to any point of this?
I did want to emphasize one of the things that people think of when we're negotiating and we're looking at a new collective agreement is what are the things we can gain through this new collective agreement? But we should also really be thinking about what are the things that we could lose in a collective agreement if we don't have the backing of our members with the bargaining team. Because it's not just about gaining new things, the college could remove existing rights that we already have. Some of this includes, for example, having asynchronous online courses that are counting towards your teaching contact hours. One of the concessions that they're looking at is to make those courses not count towards the same amount of those teaching contact hours. What this means is changes on your SWIFT, potentially changes if you are a partial load faculty member, such that those courses no longer bring you up to partial load status. Other things they're looking at is stuff like extending the number of weeks that you have to teach if you are teaching in a non-post-secondary program. So from anyone that knows me from academic upgrading, this means potentially teaching 16 weeks instead of the 14 weeks. Are there any other concessions that are major ones that I'm missing, Anna? There's a lot, I
So
know.
yeah, so you've talked about some of the key ones, but another there are concessions that would apply to new incoming employees. So, for example, new partial load faculty would be subjected to a 10-month probation. So not only are they precarious, but they're precarious without access to most of the rights of being partial load for 10 months of employment. All new employees would be able to work, and that probably means teach up to 8 hours a day. Most of us have taught 2 6-hour courses in one day and know how exhausting that is. Just thinking about teaching 8 hours is quite something. We also have concessions tabled around professional development leave. Unfortunately, professional development leave does not apply to partial load, but it does, full-timers have it. And right now, one of the concessions is that there'd be more managerial oversight over professional development topics and outcomes, and that it would no longer be provided in a consecutive fashion. Currently, your professional development leave is 5 consecutive days, up to 10 consecutive days. Now it would be broken up at the whim of management. They're also looking at breaking up the consecutive 43 days of vacation that full-time faculty have. So again, we all look forward to that May, June, July, August break that we get. Now the college would have the ability to assign you still 43 days, but 1 month of that could be in March and another in October. So those are just some of the concessions that we're looking at in this round. There are actually quite a few more. Ultimately, what our message here today is vote yes, because voting yes means we can push back against these concessions and make some gains. Thank you, and we look forward to a very strong strike mandate vote.
Thank you, everyone. Please vote yes. We need it.